Here we go, from the top. So, how did this begin? What were the British colonizers' motives for colonizing New Zealand?
Colonizing New Zealand was appealing for several reasons. Economically, Britain wanted to exploit its natural resources like timber, flax, and fertile land, while also creating new markets for British goods. They also saw it as a way to ease overcrowding in Britain by encouraging settlers to move and farm the land. They believed it was their duty to civilize other nations, and thinking British culture was superior. As a result, they planned to impose their culture, government, and religion on the local people.
And who were the local people there?
Yes, the Maori people. They settled in New Zealand around the 14th century, according to their traditional history. They came from the mythical land identified as Tahiti. The Maori society was very complex, with different tribes.
So when did colonizers first encounter the Maori?
There were multiple encounters before the main British push. Abel Tasman, a European explorer, arrived on the coast of New Zealand in 1642. He did fight with a group of the Maori on the south coast and left with much of it unexplored. Then, in 1769, Captain James Cook set out. James Cook found New Zealand. He found the Maori people and saw that they were highly intelligent and suitable for colonization. In the late 18th century, British explorers arrived on the shores of New Zealand. The Maori, who had lived on these lands for centuries, met the newcomers with curiosity and caution. Over time, British missionaries arrived, bringing Christianity and European values to the Maori. Some Maori leaders saw that this was an opportunity for peaceful trade, but others were wary of the foreign influence. In 1840, the British and Maori chiefs signed the Treaty of Waitangi. The British promised to protect Maori lands and give them the rights of British subjects, while Maori agreed to recognize British sovereignty. However, the two sides interpreted the treaty very differently. The British saw it as a way to assert control, while many Maori believed it was an agreement of mutual respect and protection. Over time, British settlers and the Crown began taking land from the Maori, often through unfair deals or threats. This sparked resistance from Maori chiefs who refused to give up their ancestral lands. Maori fought to defend their lands in the New Zealand Wars of the mid-1800s, but the British military, with better resources and support, eventually gained control over much of the land. Many Maori were displaced from their lands. Some were imprisoned or exiled. Despite the resistance, the British control over New Zealand grew stronger. Despite their hardships and loss of land, Maori culture and identity survived. Maori leaders continued to resist, and in the 20th century they began to reclaim land and rights through political activism and legal battles.